I'd like to welcome everyone here this evening and call this meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Robert Holt, would you lead us in prayer?
Yes, let's bow our heads. Father, we're so thankful tonight for the opportunity to gather together here in this assembly. We thank you for all these young people that are gathered with us tonight, and thankful for the honors that they've earned, and pray that you just bless their futures as much as you have blessed their past. Father, thank you for the freedom to be able to gather together. We pray that you give wisdom to the city commission, the city manager, as we conduct the city's business, and may everything be done in accordance with your will and decently and in order. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Robert. Item 2, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting, April 26, 2022. Do I hear a motion?
Motion. And second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Item 3, petitions and communications from the public and items from the audience. Tonight we have 2 certificates of recognition, and we're going to do the boys first and then the girls. Usually it's girls first, but I'm told to do the boys first. And a lot of the guys aren't here tonight because they are playing football, so they like to be here if they could. Rashid, would you come up, please?
Yes, sir.
This is great. This is really, really extraordinary, you guys, what you've done. So these recognitions are the least we can do. The 21-22 Pittman High School Highlander basketball team. Whereas the Gatlinburg-Pittman High School Highlanders, the 21-22 basketball team, had a successful season by posting an overall record of 29-8. Whereas the Highlanders accomplished these 29 victories and 2 tournament championships throughout the season with a great amount of teamwork and dedication. Whereas by winning 3 games in as many days, the Highlanders were able to win the Smoky Mountain Winter Classic in December, including beating Gallatin County, Kentucky, 85-74. Were they supposed to be a good team?
Nah.
In the final round of the tournament, whereas the Highlanders won 7 regular season District 2 AA games to finish as league co-champion in the regular season, and then beat Alcoa for the second time during the season to claim the District 2 AA tournament championship. Whereas the team was able to win 2 games in the Region 2 AA tournament and finished as runner-up to advance to the Class A AA sectional round. Whereas the Highlanders' successful season was led by District 2 AA MVP Ty Glasper, as well as all district players Carlos Orr and Grady Brandon. Whereas the great play and sportsmanship displayed by the team on and off the court under the leadership of head coach Rashid Moore, assistant coaches Noah Clinton and Gabriel Hinton, who helped instill hard work and determination to this season's outstanding team. Whereas the Gatlinburg-Pittman High School Highlanders 21 and 22 basketball team displayed tremendous effort and perseverance, which is evident of the team's seasons of successes. Now therefore, I, Mike Werner, Mayor of the City of Gatlinburg, Tennessee, on behalf of the City Commission, the City Manager, local citizens, do hereby express our congratulations, recognize and commend the Gatlinburg-Pittman 2021 and 2022 Highlanders basketball team and their coaches for an outstanding season and display of hard work and team spirit to attain these many accolades.
Yeah.
We had 2 guys show up.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Congratulations. It's your Katie, would you come up, please? Good. Certificate of recognition presented to the 2021-2022 Gatlinburg Pittman High School Lady Highlanders basketball team. Whereas the Gatlinburg Pittman High School Lady Highlanders 21 and 22 basketball team had a stellar season with an overall record of 28 and 10. Whereas the Lady Highlanders accomplished a great number of victories and championships throughout the season in their hard work and determination. And whereas the Lady Highlanders won 7 regular season District 2AA games to finish as a league co-champion in the regular season, as well as attaining the District 2AA tournament championship. Whereas the Lady Highlanders continued their march to the state tournament by capturing the Region 2AA tournament championship with their 3rd win of the season over Alcoa, along with the AA sectional title by beating Polk County. Whereas the sectional championship advanced the Lady Highlanders to their 4th state tournament appearance in school history. And the team advanced to the state semifinals by beating Scotts Hill 68-32 in the quarterfinals. And whereas sophomore forward Maddie Newman and sophomore guard Leah Stinnett were named to the all-state tournament team for their outstanding play at the state tournament. And whereas the Lady Highlanders showed great play and sportsmanship on and off the court under the leadership of head coach Katie Parton and assistant coaches Mindy Brackens, Ralph Kidd, Conchita Omby, and Hayden Sims, whose leadership, love, and devotion to the team and the school made for an outstanding season for the Lady Highlanders. And whereas the Gatlinburg Pittman High School Lady Highlanders, the 21 and 22 basketball team, displayed tremendous drive, determination, and perseverance was evident in the team's seasons of successes. Now therefore, I, Mike Werner, Mayor of the City of Gatlinburg, Tennessee, on behalf of the City Commission, City Manager, local citizens, do hereby express our congratulations, recognize and commend the Gatlinburg Pittman 2021-2022 Lady Highlanders basketball team and their coaches for an outstanding season and display of hard work and team spirit to obtain these many accolades. Congratulations.
Need a wide angle lens.
There you go.
I can't see you all in the back corner, sorry. Get in the gas, girls, get in the gas.
There goes the flag.
Here, I'll come over here. Come right here.
Somebody gonna have to squish.
No, hold it, go in from the front.
There you go.
Here for Twitter. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, let's hear it for me.
Just does. Just does.
Item 4, reports of boards and committees.
We have none this evening.
Okay, item 5, city manager's report.
Just very quickly, as we've been trying to do with you at these meetings, we have a couple of updated reports associated with several of our city projects, and then there's a second handout just associated with the convention center. So just to keep you updated on happenings there. I think one of the major ones I would call out would be on this report that has the logo at the top, and the phase one of the Bishop Lane parking facility is complete, and the additional parking was opened up on was it opened on May 13th? It says it was.
Yes, it was.
So additional 30 parking spots there at that permit-only parking lot, so I would highlight that as well, and any questions y'all have about these, we'll be happy to answer.
I think the new parking lot looks great, and how did you get Blaylock's to do a job that quick?
Well, I don't.
I'm just kidding.
Right.
Any other comments or questions? Thank you, Cindy. Old business, there is none tonight. Item 7, new business. A, ordinance number 2587, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance being ordinance 830, and further being an ordinance to reclassify parcels 26 and 27 of tax map 127 located at 312 Newman Road from R1 Low Density Residential District to R2 Medium Density Residential District. This is first reading, passed Planning Commission 4/21/22. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. And any discussion needed on this?
I would just assume David Ball might give us an overview of this request.
Yes, this is located off of Newman Road. Most of y'all remember Gene Marine, who was a city employee. Gene operated that property as apartments, had apartments on the property for years and years. I think the family has the property now, and they're looking to redevelop that with some townhome style apartments. Mr. DeRoche is here. But in looking at that, it is zoned R1, which is single-family residential. So you had an existing non-conforming use of the property with it being R1. Took it to Planning Commission to consider an R2, which does allow for multifamily. The R2 zoning would allow the property to be properly developed with multifamily housing, as they're proposing to do, and would make it a conforming use at that point. That would give them the freedom to tear down the old structures and come back with newer buildings and facilities. And I don't know if Mr. DeRocha has anything.
No, I mean, the intent is to eventually tear down all the old apartments and put in new ones, townhome type apartments, but we have a little lot up there at the top, so we're starting 2 or 3 on the top, and so those tenants can move into the new ones.
How many do you think you can get up there?
The max, the surveyor says 9 units.
9 units.
There's currently 6 there,
Right.
so we're gonna start with 3, tear down the 6 and put 6 back, basically. There's some undeveloped property up there.
All right, thank you. Any other questions, comments? David, you might as well just stay up there for the rest of these. Okay, with no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Item B, ordinance number 2588, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance being ordinance number 830, and further being an ordinance to reclassify parcel 9 of tax map 126 and Group G located at 337 Reagan Drive from R2 Medium Density Residential District to C1 Tourist Commercial District. First reading passed Planning Commission on April 21st, 2022. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. And David, we have discussion on this too.
Yes, sir. This is a small 0.43 acre parcel. The property owners who purchased I'm going to refer to it, the Mike May property, are looking to develop that with a hotel and purchased this lot to serve as additional parking to serve the hotel property. The property is currently zoned R2. By changing it to the C1 classification, it allows them to extend that parking for the hotel into this parcel and utilize it to full capacity under the current ordinance. You're allowed to extend parking into residential, but it limits you on 100 feet. And so they're requesting to rezone the whole thing to C1, which would allow them to use the whole lot for additional parking for the hotel use. This is located within 400 feet of where the hotel use would be, so it would be, again, parking to be used for that. Also to note on that, most of the properties on Reagan Drive, as we analyzed the request, I think all the properties on Reagan Drive, both sides are commercially zoned except for 4 parcels, this being one of the 4. And this is right next to the utility plant, the old Chilling Center property. So, I think it has, of course, in the rear of the property on Trenholm Lane is the Bell South, the old Bell South utility site there. So virtually everything around it's commercial, and they're just asking to rezone it to C1, again, to utilize it as a parking.
Is the three that adjoins it around it, is that all C1?
Actually, so standing in Reagan Drive, looking at that map, I'm assuming you're looking at the
Yeah.
at the map. If you're standing in Reagan, the parcel to the right on Reagan is the city-owned property where the Schilling Center is. The properties across the street are commercial. The only properties that are residential are the Bell South properties and the property behind the Bell South.
Okay.
So
No
What's
objection
the
from any of the
city?
neighbors.
the city's also zoned R2 as well.
So none of the, so these three pieces all are R2.
That's
This is the
correct.
only commercial, then you cross the street, then that's commercial.
Commercial, then across
And
Reagan
then
Drive
cross
is
the-
all commercial.
Commercial on this side.
Yes, sir.
But you haven't had anybody complain or bring up any problems or anything
No, sir.
from the adjoining?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Any other comments, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Item C, ordinance number 2589, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance, being ordinance number 830, and further being an ordinance to reclassify parcel 6 of tax map 1260, Group A, located on Sunset Drive from R2 Medium Density Residential District to C2 General Business District. First reading passed Planning Commission on April 21st, 2022. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second, and David, we have discussion on this too.
Yes, sir. This is located at the end of Sunset Drive. The property was originally part of the Fabulous Chalet properties. I think it was developed at one point with a hotel structure on it. That building was destroyed years ago. Not sure by what means, but it's no longer there. The current property owner who owns the Fabulous Chalets is looking to redevelop that with like a condominium structure. So it's R2, which would allow for that, but with C2 zoning, they can utilize the setbacks are different. And the property's basically surrounded by commercial property. C2 zoning actually adjoins the parcel, so the request is basically to go to C2, which is consistent with the properties that adjoin the property. There is one small piece of R2 that would attach to what I would say the west property boundary, and that is part of the Boeing Skybridge property. That is a somewhat of a buffer that was created to buffer the lots that are further west of this area, because you do have some residential homes here. So this was, this is R2, was a buffer left by Boeing, but the rest of the adjoining properties are all C2.
So everything down Sunset Drive, you're saying is C2?
Everything adjoining the property here is C2. There are some R1A properties along Sunset.
So to the left of that property that you're saying, right directly to the left of it?
So you've got commercial here, and commercial here,
Okay.
and commercial here.
All right.
You do have a small R2 buffer, and again, that was deliberately left when Boeing did their rezoning of the property off of Campbell-Lead. They left that to extend it down behind these residential lots, but basically this area here consists of all commercial zoning.
In my mind, this Sunset Drive is the street that goes through Fabulous Chalet to the
That is
end.
correct.
Okay.
Yes.
It's the driveway into it.
All right.
Any other questions or comments? With none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Item D, discussion and consideration declaring parcel of property on Greystone Heights Road as surplus and conveying this property to the Sevier County Public Building Authority. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. And David?
Well, no, this is not really David. This is a Cindy and Henderson, Larry Henderson.
Okay.
Larry, if you would aid me and explain this. We have discussed this with you all previously, and this is basically, he's going to explain it better than I will, a sliver of property that the city bought property, Larry, to build a water pump station. Go ahead.
That is right. The city did buy property to build a water pump
Years
station
and years and years ago.
years ago, and the water pump station is actually on 2.01. 2.00 and 2.01 were all one parcel of property. And at some point in time, there was right-of-way acquired to develop parcel 2502, which split the city-owned property. And the city purchased the property for the benefit of 2.01 for the water pumping station. So the other side of the property is just the dangling piece. It's a very steep, not really a usable piece of property that has no benefit for the city.
It is contiguous to the original proposed site of the Wildfires Memorial Tribute Project. That the history there is not that great as it relates to the fact that there was a major flooding. I don't remember if it was the 18 or the 19, Larry, that took out that site basically. And so, the neighboring property owner, Rocky Waters, Rocky Waters Motel, that is who is interested in, purchasing these parcels. So this came out in the process of selling the, other site that the city and the county bought probably 4 years ago now, I guess, when, Robert, 5 years, 4 years ago? 3 or 4 years ago, for sure.
Okay, thank you, Cindy. Any further comments or questions?
What's the purpose of the Sevier County Building Authority? What is that?
Here's their attorney.
Okay. Hello.
The wildfire memorial was going to be built.
Now, he's asking what the you're asking in general.
Yeah, I want
Public
He's
Building
asking in
Authority.
general. He's not asking
Yeah,
about
sell
the
property.
project particular.
But the Public Building Authority was going to build the memorial. They can build public structures, public buildings, and that's why it was transferred to them, so that they would have an easier time rather than the city and county try to do it individually or separately. So the PBA owned 2 parcels, one of which was sold several months ago. And then the second one, which is contiguous to this, they want to buy it now, and they also wanted to buy this piece of property that we're talking about.
I think that the purpose of public building authorities, because not only does, every county that I know of has one, most cities have them, is to, that is a conduit to do some public projects through. Generally, funding is coming from, like in this case, had the wildfires project occurred down there, it would have been city, county, and state funding because we have grant for it. But it's really a conduit to do certain public projects.
So it's supposed to be, the intent is for the public's.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
it's all about public
Okay.
projects, yes. Yeah.
Public Building Authority can build it easier under state law than a city or a county could.
They often are involved in industrial parks, creating spaces for businesses and that kind of thing.
Right.
And the city bought this parcel here in 1989 for $16,000. And that included the water pump station site, which is now separate. So that's the history of that parcel.
Okay, thank you.
All right, very good. Any further discussion or questions? With none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Item E, discussion and consideration of approving change order number 1 to Miller Electrical Contractors, Inc., contract related to City Hall generator project. Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Second.
And this is the bid to install the new generator?
Right, there was a contract that we brought before you several weeks ago, I guess, associated with this project. It was a low bid project, and so we have determined that some of the materials associated with the change out of the generator here at this building, we can purchase directly and save on the taxes. Is that as simple as it is?
That's it, then it changes, we're not reducing, we're just paying the general contractor, it's still gonna work through him, but we're paying his material provider directly to save sales.
Save money, okay. It's always good when you save money. Any other comments, questions? With none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Item F, discussion and consideration of approving a site manager and lease agreement with Michael H. Jenkins, doing business as Land Air Total Tri-Cities Communication LLC, related to the Greystone Heights Radio Tower. Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Do we need
And
discussion?
Chief Brackens is here this evening, and he can share some information about that, please, Chief.
This tower manager agreement is for Mike Jenkins, Land Air Communications. He manages our Greystone Tower along with other towers throughout the city and county. But this current agreement is for 2 years, and he makes sure that the wind load and antenna loads are okay on the building. Any upgrades that need to be performed, it's okay through him because he has the expertise on the tower business. And this agreement is for 2 years.
Very good. Thank you,
And for
Chief.
that, his what's the sum of remuneration or consideration? He gets to have some equipment.
He gets
on the
that, he gets to add his own equipment on the tower for performing these,
tower. Instead of us paying him a
Instead of
site
paying him money.
management fee, he gets to put equipment on this Greystone Tower.
Thank you, Chief. Any other questions, comments? If none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Item G, discussion and consideration of making an appointment to the Gatlinburg Board of Education. Do I hear any?
I make a motion that Ann Watson be reappointed. I think that's the one we're looking at tonight. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Ms.
And
Cindy?
yes, sir.
I think she does an excellent job and is a very nice lady. I like her a lot. So Ann Watson, I'm proposed for the spot.
Any other nominations? With none, all in favor of Ann Watson, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Item H, discussion and consideration of declaring impounded vehicles and certain city equipment as surplus. Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second.
I wish Ryan was here.
He always gets real giddy about this.
Got it. But the list is in your agenda package.
Okay, very good.
In a memorandum from Robert to me, so
When will these be auctioned off, or do you have to set a date after
We'll have
approval?
to set a date.
Okay, can you email us when it comes out? I'm sure
we
people,
will. And there'll be a-
I'll get
there'll be a
contacts
paper
about
on
it.
the website, too.
And you do a lot of this on the internet too, don't you?
Yeah, we'll do some of the equipment. These cars here, we'll sell them down at the lot.
Yeah.
Because they're impound cars.
Okay.
They're not, are they all city cars or are they some?
No,
they're all private cars.
Private cars
They're all
have been
private.
impounded.
Impounded
I-
private
Good ones on the
vehicles.
list.
They're right here.
That we have to jump through hoops,
Got
Randy,
17.
to get the state approval. You want to share that with us?
Yes, we have to apply to the state to sell the cars, and then once the owners do not come forward, or they come forward and say abandon the vehicle, then we can sell the cars.
We have to do something with the state and with the individual car owners if we know who they are.
We have to notify the state, and then we try to notify the owners by certified mail to make sure that there are no liens or any liens against the car for money or anything like that.
Okay.
So,
Good deal.
and if
Thanks.
there's not, then they free them up for us to sell for abandoned vehicles.
Gotcha. Thanks, Chief. Any further discussion? With none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Item I, discussion and consideration of approving required changes to the city's Title VI program. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
If we have discussion on this,
Robert,
please.
and I see that our HR Director, Michelle, is here. This is a obligatory kind of deal as it relates to TDOT and therefore mass transit grants, which are extremely critical, as you all know, to the revenues of the mass transit parking fund. What are we doing here, Robert and Michelle? They're really not that many changes, but
No, it's just we have to get this approved every 3 years, and then we have to update contact information. There's a few minor updates throughout the program, and we copied kind of the meat of the program for your information there. But this is just something as we have reviews that let us know that it has to be voted on. It has to be voted on and approved by you every 3 years. And so there's not many updates or changes, just a few items that need to be brought current.
pretty much going through the formality of approval. Okay. Any other questions, comments? With none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Item J, ordinance number 2590, appropriating an amount sufficient to cover the necessary expenses of the various departments, offices, and boards of the city pending the final passage of the annual appropriation ordinance for fiscal year 2022-2023. This is the first reading. Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second, and this is housekeeping of, make sure we can pay all the expenses.
It's the interim budget ordinance until you approve the final budget, generally around the middle of August. So covering expenses of July and August.
Very good. Thank you, Cindy. Any further questions or comments? With none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Unscheduled items, we'll start with Commissioner Smith. Good. Commissioner Reagan.
Don't have anything at this time.
Vice Mayor McCown.
In our packets, we had a statistical report on revenues, and I'm just stunned that our January, February, March has held up against 2021, because 21 was just a banner year, one of our best years. And we're right in there, same revenue. I'm hoping April will hold up too, but I'm really happy for our retailers and hoteliers, and glad things are remaining the same. That's all I've got, Mr. Mayor.
In all I have, I'd like to acknowledge the police and EMS and Public Works departments. This is they're acknowledged this month for the fine job they all do, and we've got great police, EMS, and Public Works for Gatlinburg. Just want to tell them thank you for all their hard work, and that's all I have, and I ask for a motion to adjourn.
So
Second.
We are adjourned.